Hey guys, Sydney here, Tyler here, Henry here. After Atlanta United's dismal 2-0 loss to Nashville SC here tonight at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. These are 3 takeaways. We're going to do this try to do this after every Atlanta United match from here on out. Let us know what your takeaways are after the match here in the comments. But guys, just a stinker of a match to talk about tonight. Let's start with, takeaway number 1, the start. About as bad a start for Atlanta United as you could imagine. 1-0 before you even know. It's been a hat with this team, man. Unfortunately, they couldn't kick it tonight.
Yeah, the opening 10 minutes kind of set the tone, and it was flat, it was lifeless, it was frustrating because Nashville just seemed to control the ball and Atlanta couldn't get a hold of it at all, and you kind of felt things coming. Brad Guzan had that amazing save in like the 3rd minute, and then 2 minutes later, there's nothing he can do, and it was just unfortunate.
You got?
Yeah, no, I mean, pretty much the same. It's just it shocks me how there just wasn't any fight in the first few minutes. It's like, that you're building up the hype for a rivalry game, an important game for your playoff hopes, right? You need these 3 points, and you come out and you play like this in front of your own crowd. Like, it baffles me, man, how you can put up that kind of display when I think everyone knows that you could definitely do better. I mean, you're not right now you're not an MLS Cup contender necessarily, but you can get wins, and you can especially get them against Nashville. And the other thing about, that is, what does it communicate to you about Wednesday? Like, how do you look at this game and say, okay, there's a chance on Wednesday to do something against Inter Miami, who is leading the Supporters' Shield race, probably going to win the darn thing, right? It's just I don't understand how this team can be playing like this at this point. Like, I want to see something more, and I think fans want to see the same thing, because sitting through 90 minutes of that's not easy.
We were all there in the press conference room with Rob after the match, and he has felt us upset and angry after a match that we've seen him just insinuate that the team didn't show any effort throughout the night, which I definitely agree with. But as he said, Henry, this is the business end of the season. Like, if you lost this match, you put yourself even further behind the 8 ball for a playoff spot. We'll get to that a little bit later on, but just a shocking performance from Atlanta United against a team that they very well should have beaten pretty easily. Takeaway number 2, we have to talk about Marincek. His first home match at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, first time in front of home fans, and really wasn't able to do much of anything tonight, and that's really credit to Nashville, right?
Yeah, the first half, non-existent. Also not his fault. I think when you look at the way that Nashville approached this game, they're on a terrible losing streak. They're playing for pride. It's a derby game. You're playing in a place that you really want to win in. No. And they did what they had to do to force Atlanta out to the wings and essentially mark Marincek out of the game. No. And then Atlanta's wings did themselves no favors at all. Their crosses were terrible. It just was very imprecise. Yeah. But then the second half, they made a couple of adjustments. They tried to force it through the middle a little bit more, which I think actually worked to a degree because it got them on the ball more. But by that point, Nashville is essentially settled in, and they're a good defensive team despite how they've been the past few matches. They still have that Gary Smith kind of vibe to them. Yeah. They're going to bunker in, and they're not going to let you do much in the final third if they're ahead. So, it is frustrating, but he's had a good couple of games before this. He didn't have a bad game tonight. It just was one where they did the job of keeping him out of it.
Right. I think B.J. Callahan did his homework because he knew exactly where and how to shut Atlanta United down. You look back at that Charlotte game, the midfield was very fluid, and a lot of the kind of breakaway chances, a lot of Atlanta's danger came from passing through the midfield. Johnny Fortune, touching through, finding Marincek, Slish doing the same thing. That 3 in midfield has been always really a key to Atlanta United, and Nashville knew exactly how to counter that. They really crowded that midfield, and so anytime Jay Fortune or Slish or even Marincek got on the ball, there was always like 2-3 guys just surrounding them, closing them down, really eliminating any options that they had to move the ball forward, to move the ball away. And so and Atlanta just never really adapted to it. They tried to play through the wings, and the wings, as we just talked about, dreadful, just not effective at all. So yeah, I think they did a great job. They knew how to limit Moranchuk, and Moranchuk, honestly, to me right now, you've seen some stuff of what he can do. His passing can be good. He's a creative player, but he's had 3 games and 0 goal involvements to show for it. And I think you expect a little bit more out of your DPs. I'm not calling him right now like any sort of flop or anything, but I think you want to see more from a player that you spent $13 million on and that you've been hyping your fan base with, right?
Yeah, hopefully you get more. I mean, like we said, it's the business end of the season. Season's about to end. Hopefully he can really settle into things even more throughout these next few matches. Final takeaway of tonight, playoffs. I mean, this team has talked time and time again. I know you're smiling about we want to get to the playoffs. We want to get to the playoffs. You can't lose against Nashville SC and expect to be a playoff team. I mean, I think last time I saw DC United drew against NYCFC, which kind of helps Atlanta United because they would have been out 4 points back, albeit with a match in hand. But, I mean, these are matches he can't lose, especially at any stage of the season, especially at this stage, now with, I believe, 6 matches remaining in the regular season.
Yeah, and you also lose the Southern Championship belt.
Yeah.
Which is whatever. I'm trying to look for some kind of positivity here.
It wasn't
Except
worse.
not now. I know, yeah. No, it is one of those things where you have to start playing. If you want to be that big team, you have to start playing like a big team, and big teams are going to beat the teams that they should win. I mean, that they should beat. I can't tell you the last time Atlanta actually beat a team that they were supposed to beat in a dominant fashion. Right? Like it's you've seen some weirdo kind of off the wall games in Miami, right? The Columbus game here, Charlotte away. I mean, 2 weeks ago. But it's that quick, right? It goes from you have a pretty good performance, and Derek Williams even kind of mentioned it just moments ago down in the locker room. But you go from this pretty solid, gritty performance against Charlotte, who's a better team than Nashville, and then you come home hyped up, right? You got to get back to winning ways at the Benz. You lost against Santos Laguna. You had all these things going for you. Miranchuk's first game here in the Benz, and you just crap the bed, and it's frustrating. So playoffs, to the point. I mean, if you squeak in, cool, anything can happen. But at this point, it's looking like you might not even squeak in. That's the frustrating part.
Even if they did, I mean, they wouldn't get far anyway at this rate.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, to me right now, playoffs are out of the picture. I go back to that Patreon episode that I did, I think with Tommy, and where we did kind of the math, right? Looking at the games remaining, and this was, excuse me, this was the game that I thought Atlanta would win, right? Out of everything that was left, I didn't even think they'd win the Charlotte game. They won that, and so after that, I'm thinking, okay, cool, right? You won against Charlotte, you can win against Nashville, and then maybe the math changes, and then you give the fans this kind of performance, man, and you come out, you're flat at home, you got 3 home games left, and the matches don't get easier. You have Philadelphia away, you have 2 games against the Red Bulls, you got an away game against Orlando to finish the season, and you have Miami on Wednesday, by the way. And so to me, I just don't think the math is there. You're 2 points behind 9th place right now, and you are, I believe, 4 points behind 8th place, something like that. I just don't see how they make that up if they continue playing the way that they're playing. Like, something needs to change. But for me right now, I'm not talking about playoffs. I think that's that right now.
Frustrating night here at the Benz. 2-0 loss to Nashville SC. Tyler and Tommy and I will be back on Monday to talk about it live with you here on YouTube, here on X, on not all of our social channels, but on X, Facebook, and here on YouTube. 7 p.m. Monday to talk about it, as well as preview the match against Nashville SC. Enter Miami on Wednesday night. By the way, again, Wednesday 5:30 we'll be at the Nest on 4 Sydney by Hilton Hotel. Join us there before the Inter Miami match. Messi or no Messi, we will be there. Henry, you're coming, right?
Of course.
Tyler, you're coming, right?
I'll be there.
3 of us will be there. Join us there. But, again, Atlanta United losing to Nashville SC 2-0 here at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Those are our 3 takeaways from tonight. Let us know what you think in the comments. See you soon.